I'm David Brown, and I'll be just doing a quick presentation. So what are we talking about today? Today we're talking about obviously we have all accountants. I think this is probably the largest gathering of accountants I've had in a very long time. So my fellow accountants, well done. I am also a member of ICAN. I'm a fellow of the Institute. And what we're going to be talking about is something that is very dear to our hearts as dbrown Consulting and the Financial Modeling Institute's heart, which is financial modeling. And it's such a skill that is very, very needed by us accountants. And so I'm really proud to announce to you a major project that the Financial Modeling Institute and ourselves are spearheading for Africa. And ICAN is basically our first choice when it comes to actually implementing this project. So as you know, all chartered accountants, of course, are the kings of the financial statements, right? And the actual historical data there on the financial statements, of course, they do their audits and stuff. One big piece that's missing, I think, is that future piece of doing projections, that future piece of building models that can actually do the strategic advice for the company, strategically advising the company on certain things. And that's what financial modeling is. I think it's going to enrich the accountant's career path and many other things tremendously. So what we've had done with the Financial Modeling Institute is we've created a program especially for Africa. And there's a reason why, especially for Africa, because it is heavily sponsored by the Financial Modeling Institute and ourselves, so that we can transform Africans that are accountants, management experts or economists and stuff into world-class financial modelers. So that is the topic. Into world-class financial modelers, but only this what I'm going to talk to you about is how this whole program works. The most important thing is we need to basically verify that one, we are Africans, and then two, there's an institution backing this. There's a route through an institution, so that we're very we can confirm that yes, this is an African student working in an institution like yours, and then that verifies that yes, we're giving the right people this massive sponsorship that I'm going to introduce. So I'll start with a quick slide. I'm going to jump into our slide and I'll start the presentation. dbrown Consulting, who are we? We are 17 years in the business. We're going to be 17 years next month. And we do training and consulting services. We build learning tools and skills around productivity with data. We build lots of analytic systems. We've done a lot of firsts in Nigeria. For example, I'm sure a lot of you have heard Power BI. We introduced Power BI to Nigeria in 2015. 4 months before it was even brought into the world, we were invited to Israel for the pre-launch. Very small room. Of course, Power BI is everywhere now. So we do a lot of financial modeling as well and analytics, and that's what we focus on for the last 17 years. And we do that with a lot of partnerships and a lot of clients. We've gone through quite a lot of clients over those years, 250 clients, 40,000 people trained, quite a lot of people also trained for free. Some of you probably have used some of our free resources. And so that's us as a firm. And we have lots of strategic partnerships that we go through, lots of strategic partnerships to bring solutions to our clients. One of the core partners there is the Financial Modeling Institute, and that's the key thing I want to talk about today. So enough about us in particular. I want to go straight into what the whole thing is about, and this whole thing is about financial modeling. I have been a modeler for a very long time, and what's happened in the last 5 years to me is really transformational for the industry, because modelers are like they're in the wind, because there's no structure. There's no structured way to say, hey, I can build models. So imagine someone trying to go for an interview. Can you use Excel? Everybody says yes. Can you build models? Yes. But there's no way to verify except now, except the last 5 years. And to talk about that verification or accreditation is going to introduce Ian Schnorr. So Ian Schnorr, if you mute everybody, if you come in, it's just mute. So Ian is going to talk about the Financial Modeling Institute and what it has done for the global financial modeling profession. And it is a profession. Ian, over to you.
Amazing. Thank you very much. David, can you hear me okay, David?
Yes, I can hear you clearly. I can hear you.
Fantastic. Amazing. It is such a thrill to be here. My colleagues and I are really excited to be here with you today and to spend a bit of time. And we're very, very excited about this partnership with dbrown Consulting and ICAN. I'm really excited about what we can do together to help Africans improve their financial modeling skills and their skills and their opportunities generally on the global playing field. So before I get started, and I've got a few things I want to talk about for maybe 10 minutes, I just also want to make sure I'd love to just to see a show of hands. I like to keep these interactive. During over the last few years during COVID, I have led lots and lots of sessions and webinars and training sessions all over the world, including a bunch in Africa. So I don't know if anyone attended a session with me in the past, but can you, I just like to keep people involved. Do me a favor. Can you raise your hand if you just want to make sure you can hear me okay and that you can hear and see okay? Just raise your hands. I love to see some hands go up here. And I see one hand flying around. Great. Look at all these hands. Mercy, Moses, fantastic. Solomon, thank you. I see a lot of hands going up. Amazing. Fantastic. Then what I am going to do is I am going to share my screen. Great. By the way, has anyone, so David is correct. I am in, my colleagues and I are in Toronto, Canada right now, where it is -5. That's probably a little colder than where you are right now. I can't believe it. It's still snowing in March. The ground is covered. Has anyone been here before? Raise your hands if you've been here. I'd love to know if anyone has been here before. No, a couple maybe. Well, would love to have you. And if you want to come this way, we are also interested in and making our way over to your part of the world very soon as well. So hopefully we can meet some of you in person soon. Well, I'm going to share my screen here, and David, I'll ask you to help me out here. So can you see my screen being shared now, the slides, David?
Yes, I can see a PDF. Yeah.
And you can see my mouse shaking around on it a little bit here.
And,
Okay, just want to make sure that you're getting. Fantastic.
So I can see the PDF. Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
Maybe
great. You can see the
view
PDF.
full screen. Yeah.
Fantastic. That's great. So what I'd like to do, everyone, is this. I'd like to spend a couple of minutes telling you about who I am. You probably have not heard of me. Who am I? Why am I here? What am I doing? And then I want to tell you about what we are doing at the Financial Modeling Institute and why we're very excited, as I said, to be here with you to offer a joint offering within Africa. My background is actually similar to David's. I trained as a finance professional many years ago. I worked as a banker, an investment banker in Canada and the US. And about 20 years ago, not to one up you, David, but about 20 years ago, I started a training firm in Canada that runs training in financial modeling. So like David, I have also been teaching people financial modeling for 20 years. I've probably taught 20 or 30,000 people financial modeling all over the world. And during COVID, the teaching was through Zoom and through virtual sessions. So I've been very passionate about financial modeling and helping people learn this really important discipline of financial modeling for a long time. But what is the FMI? The Financial Modeling Institute is not a training firm. We are an accreditation body. Think of the FMI. We are trying to build an organization like, think of it like, well, like an ICAN or like CFA Institute. In fact, we have, I'll tell you at the end of my session, we have a very exciting partnership that we will be launching globally very soon with CFA Institute. CFA Institute is a very big supporter of what we are doing at FMI because they know that so many CFA candidates and charter holders need financial modeling. So we have a very exciting partnership coming up with them that will be announced in April. And by the way, the former CEO of CFA Institute, his name is Paul Smith. When he left CFA Institute, he joined the FMI. He joined our team. He's on our board because he knows the importance and recognizes the importance of financial modeling as a globally important skill set. So I tell you that because, what we started to see at the FMI is that I told you I've been teaching people financial modeling for 20 years, but something started to happen around 5 or 10 years ago. And that was people were required to prove they had strong modeling skills. Jobs and recruiters and employers started asking people in interviews, do you have modeling skills? When they were trying to hire accountants or finance professionals, that's the nice thing about modeling, by the way. Financial modeling is relevant for finance professionals or accounting professionals. And a lot of employers and recruiters were asking people if they had financial modeling skills, but there was no way to prove it. There was historically no way to prove it. And so we realized that there was a big demand globally to build an accreditation, very challenging, rigorous accreditation. And that's what I want to talk to you right now. So the FMI has been around for the Financial Modeling Institute was started in 2016 or 2017, so around 6 years. And let me tell you, I'm going to show you, I only have a few slides, not many. What I will tell you, and this was something that always frustrated me, it always made me frustrated, was that in most professions, people require education. Let me actually make it full screen here. In most professions, people require education and a certification. So take a look on the right side. If you want to work in accounting or in engineering or in law or in actuarial sciences, you need to have education and professional accreditation, but not yet globally in financial modeling, and certainly not 5 years ago. So that's where the FMI comes in. We are trying to build the world's first and only so far rigorous accreditation in financial modeling, because like David Brown, I believe that financial modeling is its own discipline, its own skill set. That it requires knowing accounting. Financial modeling is a skill set that requires knowing accounting and finance and Microsoft Excel and business operations and knowing how to build a beautiful forecast to make decisions. Do you know why modeling is so important? Because modeling allows people to make optimal financial decisions about the future. And that's why it's so critical. But people don't have the recognized skills. And the really, really nice thing about financial modeling as a discipline is that it is global and it provides people with truly global opportunity and global career prospects. And that's part of why I'm so excited about helping to provide financial modeling into Africa, because it allows people to work. Even if you're starting working in account, a lot of accountants need forecasting skills, but it allows people to then work in banking, private equity, corporate development, working in a fund, an investment fund, venture capital. I'm going around the circle. Corporate banking, commercial banking, FP&A, research. All of these disciplines and careers require forecasting and financial modeling skills. And the really nice thing is it's transferable. You know, when you work in some areas require very regional knowledge. Modeling is truly global. You can take your skills, you can move somewhere else. But the really great thing that's happening now is people are working from their home countries and they're working for large global organizations. I know people working in parts of Africa and in India, and they're working for big banks like Citibank and JP Morgan, and they're earning great incomes working from home in their home countries. And so really provides a level playing field for people when they have this skill to take that skill and do whatever they want in any area of accounting and finance. Is very exciting in that way. So the reason why we're out to build an accreditation is because models, I will tell you, financial models have become, you can look at my title, have become the most important decision-making tool in finance. In all of finance, financial models have become the most important decision-making tool. If you look at the left side of my screen, a really strong financial model allows you to make really informed strategic decisions. It's a powerful communicator. It allows you to clearly tell the story of a company, or really strong financial model does. The problem, unfortunately, is that most financial models are a problem. Most financial models are a mess. Most financial models are flawed. They don't work very well. And this creates a lot of risk for opportunities, for companies, for projects. And when a model is out to do is teach people and then validate their skills that they know how to build best in class, world class financial models like I have on the left. And that's the goal. And we're really looking forward to doing this, as I said, with ICAN and David Brown in Africa. So at the FMI, we have a 4-level program, but the program that's most relevant that we're going to be taking to Africa is our level 1. This is our level 1. It's called the AFM, the Advanced Financial Modeler, AFM. And what it is a 4 4-hour proctored exam, and it's very simple concept. I'm going to show it to you in a second. It's a very, very simple concept. What people have to do on the exam is they have to know how to build up a fully integrated, dynamic, 3-statement financial model of a company from scratch that adheres to industry best practices. And if they can do that, they get certified as an AFM, an advanced financial modeler. It's a very, very powerful exam. And so in combination with D. Brown, and he'll talk more about the program, there will be learning opportunities for candidates, and then there will be the test. The AFM exam is a very challenging proctored test. Now, I will tell you, I'll come back to Africa in a second. It's very rigorous. The exam itself is virtual. Before COVID, the exam was in person in testing centers, but actually it's really nice. Because of COVID, we were forced to move virtual, and people love it. It works very, very well. It's a 4-hour exam. It's recorded through cameras. We have had a lot of people already in parts of Africa sitting the exam. They do it from home or from an office. We have a full recording of their screen and of their face. So there's no cheating. So there's a security to get into the exam with proctoring. So very, very rigorous. And let me just show you quickly for a second what we ask people to do, because you might be wondering, what is it? What are we asking them to do in the level 1 AFM exam? You can see here, and David, give me a thumbs up. Can you see my Excel screen now? Hopefully that's working, right? Looks like you can see it. Yeah. So many of you are accountants, and of course you know that in accounting, we are creating the financial statements of a company. So what do I have here? I have 3 years of historical financial statements. I have an income statement, I have the cash flow statement, and I have the balance sheet. That's it. Historically, all I have is 3 years of historical data. On the AFM exam, candidates are given a historical set of financial statements that looks just like this. That's all they get, and they get a case study. They are provided information about this company, and they learn in a case study all about this business. This is a company called Henderson. It's a manufacturing company. And then what do they need to do? In 4 hours, they need to take the historical financial statements and convert it into a beautiful financial model with a cover page and an executive summary page that summarizes the key results. And it has assumptions. They learn about the assumptions, and they have to build up a really nice assumption page that explains and describes all the critical assumptions for this company in the future. They need to build scenarios. They have to build a scenario page, because scenario pages allow you to manage risk into the future. They have to build this, and then they need to build a fully integrated 5-year forecast model of the business that has revenues and costs. And as I roll down, they have to build a forecast for the income statement and the cash flow statement and the balance sheet. And to do that, they have to understand how the numbers talk to each other, how they connect. And they have to build all the calculations that they need for depreciation, income tax, all the way down. And they have to design it in a beautiful way so that it turns into a very, very user-friendly 3-statement forecast model of the business. And I can tell you that if they can do that, if people can do that, they are prepared for any of these jobs that require financial modeling skills. So that's a little bit about who we are and what we are doing. I'm going to end my remarks by talking about, so I hope you understand a little bit about what we're doing and what the FMI is all about, and how our programs work. I'm not going to talk about our higher levels. People are welcome, if they're interested, they're welcome in pursuing the 2nd and 3rd levels, the CFM and the MFM, but that's for later. Right now, this is our primary flagship program, the AFM, for people to learn and prove their strong modeling skills. So let me talk about, and I'll take questions if there's questions after, but let me wrap up and talk about why we are so excited about partnering with D. Brown and ICAN about launching this program to make financial modeling accessible to Africans on the continent. We are the FMI. We have seen a lot of interest globally. We are seeing a lot of interest in North America, you can see, and in Europe, and in Asia, and in Australia. And we have had interest. You can see Nigeria on the map. We've had a number of candidates from Nigeria over the years, many, many. But there's huge opportunity. And we are offering our program at a significant discount. And the reason is truly because in this organization, for me personally and for my team, we view this is an important opportunity for us to give back. We've been very lucky and fortunate in our careers. We've been able to work at large organizations and run businesses, and we've had great opportunities. This is a great opportunity for us in this platform to help people all over the world who haven't had as many opportunities. I can tell you that I have worked, I have had numerous opportunities. I have worked with Africans on many occasions, when for the last 20 or 30 years, I have always been inspired by the spirit of the people I work with, the perseverance, the positive outlook, the work ethic. I've loved always. I've run webinars and sessions in Africa. 1,000 people have shown up, and then they've sent me lots of questions and follow up after. It is. I've always enjoyed the welcoming greeting that we get, and the passion that the Africans I've met bring to what they're doing. And I know there's tremendous appetite for modeling, and this is our team's view that we can help. And we really want to help provide a skill that we know is globally recognized and puts everyone on the same way. So it's our small way of trying to kind of bring this and work with David and ICAN to do this. David Brown is a highly respected professional in financial modeling. For us, it's very important to work with the right people that have the same level of excellence, the same level of ethical conduct. And David, I've known for many years and has always satisfied and met and exceeded those criteria. So we're really excited to bring this. We're calling it scholarships to people in Africa, a combination of us and D Brown to the market. I will wrap up by telling you that we have at the FMI, we have other partnerships that we are working on the go. You might be interested to know that ICAN is not the only chartered accountant body that we're working with. There are other chartered accounting organizations in the world that are also a partnership with ACCA last year, ACCA accountants, which has been very successful. The ACCA members in Europe are really finding it. They're loving it. The feedback has been great. There are other chartered accounting bodies in different countries that are looking to add financial modeling with the Financial Modeling Institute, not with scholarships, but they're just bringing it to their members. And as I mentioned already, the CFA Institute. Stay tuned. This is still a little bit quiet, but you are in April going to hear a big announcement from CFA Institute that involves the FMI. And so we are very excited, but this is different. But this is what we're doing with ICAN and D Brown is different. To me, it's special. We are offering a way, at a very accessible way, for residents in Africa to build their skills in a way that allows them to really achieve and grow and succeed in the global community. So that's what I wanted to share today. I'm going to stop my screen share then. I wanted to tell you a little bit about who we are, about me, what we're doing, and this platform. So thank you, David. I'll turn it back to you.
As you can see, financial modeling it's always, everybody thinks of it as very tough. Yes, it's tough when there's no structure and there's no structured approach. And that's what we're doing. So what I'm announcing to you today and we're launching is the Financial Modeling Academy. Now, this is the academy. I'm putting on the screen right now. These are the things that people get in the academy. They first of all get our flagship course as D Brown Consulting, all the content from our flagship course, the Financial Modeling Academy course. So that value is about $1,200. They get the FMI exam, ability to write the FMI exam. Now, if you go to the FMI website, that is $695. That's the current value, the current price for writing the exam on your own. Then they get an exam prep course. There's a course that we've been very popular. It's been very popular from us. About $199 what people pay for that course. You get an Excel primer, everything you need to know about Excel, because Excel skills are very critical to modeling. So they get all the Excel skills they need. And they also get a modeling primer. So there's certain fundamental skills about modeling they get that as well for $99. They get a community access. It's a community that we have, and dbrown, as in where they get lots of free webinars and stuff for community access. Now, nearly everything here they get almost off the bat. But the course itself, the FMA course, the Financial Modeling Academy course, it's an 8-week program, right? There's 6 weeks of solid content, and then there's exam prep that we're going to do to prepare you for that exam from the FMI. Now, the FMI also has a community. So once they register for the exam, they're going to join the community. The candidates to join the community, and that community is so rich with lots of data to also help them prepare for the exam. And then, of course, we have live Q&A during when the course starts, live Q&A every single weekend, and that they'll be able to chat and talk about how they run the course. So this whole thing is valued at $2,841. That's the value. Now, what we're offering to the rest of the world, right? This value, we're offering this value to the rest of the world at $972. That's what the rest of the world is going to pay for this program. Now, FMA program. So we approached Financial Modeling Institute, and we've been working very hard to see how we can make a special case for Africa. And so what we're announcing today really is that there are 2 cases for Africa we've made. Yours is even the more special one because you guys are very special. You train students to try and become chartered accountants. So we know that your candidates are students. And as we know, we've all been students, right? Students don't have one thing. They don't have money, but they have the hunger to get that skill. And they're the ones that are going to transform their lives with that skill. So we know that we've all been there. And to all the Financial Modeling Institute and us thinking, okay, how can we support students? But I'm coming to students. We also have professionals like you and I. Anywhere we are in Africa, we get that $2,841 value at $347. Even just the FMI exam alone is $685. I mean, so there is the value for Africa. So there's anybody in Africa, any profession, anybody that's resident in Africa, excluding South Africa. But we are in Nigeria anyway, so $347. But we went further and we thought, okay, how can we rock bottom actually use our money, spend our money and time to make it even easier for students? So we came up with special pricing for students at $150. So with $150, you get a $1,200 course, $695 exam, $199 prep course, another $199 Excel course, another $199 modeling primer, a $149 community access, and live Q&A with a professional for like coaching them for 6 weeks. So that's the value they get at $150. Now, this is a huge sacrifice on Financial Modeling Academy's side, also a huge sacrifice on our side. And what we said we'll do, the main aim for doing this is mass training of Africans so that they can become independent financial modeling experts. So that once they become chartered accountants, they become, I won't call it chartered modelers, but they become advanced financial modelers. They can sit at home and model for companies anywhere in the world. They're self-employed. There's full self-employment and possibility with that skill. And I think that's a hugely transformational thing for Nigeria at this time. So instead of, as we have a word, Ian and Johanna and Amy, it's called JAPA. Do you know what JAPA basically means? They're running away from Nigeria. And do you know the number 1 destination where they like to run away to? Canada.
Really?
When you hear
Really?
when you hear JAPA, you hear Canada. I don't know if I'm right. If I'm right, please, the other Nigerians, back me up. Put your hands up. If you just raise your hands.
They like the cold? I thought we scared them away with all the cold.
I don't know. I have no idea why they just love Canada. I just don't know. So JAPA and Canada can see people are agreeing with me. If you agree with me that the number 1 destination for JAPA is Canada, just put your hand up so that Ian can see that that is true. I'm not just speaking. So yeah. So what we are trying to do, and what ICAN I'm sure is trying to do, is keep them here in Nigeria. So what they can do is sit at home, model for Canadian companies. They don't need to go to Canada. They can model from here, right? So they can get self-employed from here, build an institution. You have a chartered accounting body. You're accredited by ICAN. Add modeling as one of your services, right? and model. So we think that this is a huge opportunity to keep people in Nigeria as well as earn dollars, right? So there's so many opportunities here. It's just a plus. And with this student discount, now, how will this work? The only way this will work, and is why you are here, is we need to validate. We need to be sure that these people are students. They need to be either professional students, which means that they're going through a professional certification, or they need to be academic students, which means they're probably in a university. So we need some validation, some verification. And that's one of the most important points we've worked with the Financial Modeling Institute on. How do we verify that, one, these are students, two, they are resident in Africa? So it's not a student sitting in Brussels. Definitely, they're not getting this. It's only African students. And so we're starting, of course, with ICAN, and ICAN being our body, our institution that we love very much and we want to support. So this is one in the world. There's nowhere in the world they're going to get this, and which is why we need to be sure that it's not abused. This is super important. We need to be sure it's not abused. And the way to be sure is, that's why we said, you know what, let's go through the institutions that are training these students. And we approached ICAN, and ICAN said, okay, yes, we have accredited bodies, tuition houses for ICAN. We can go through these tuition houses. They verify that these people are really their students, and then they will get this offer at 150. So that's basically why we're here. And how do we verify that they are students so that they get this? And the other verification is only residential verification, that, yeah, anywhere in Africa, if you're anywhere in Africa, of course, you can get the 347. But again, we need to verify that as well, because some people may have jackpot and they're in Canada. They shouldn't get this. They're in Canada. They need to be residents in Africa. Yeah. So that's why you're here, everybody. And the course itself, the next program actually starts in May, although we're taking registrations now. We're taking registrations now, and I'm going to show you where you come in. So this is a web page which I'll share with you. The course itself is an 8-week program, starts on 22nd of May, but people will get pre-access to all those other goodies before. So I'm going to share this nice long list of all the benefits by the end of the program, what they will get. There will be modelers that can model any company. Give them any financial statement, they will be able to model it. It's a very rigorous course, goes way beyond the requirements for the exam, super rigorous course. And then, of course, the modules for the course. Then we will now prep them for the exam. And once we get to the stage where they finish the modules and we're prepping them for the exam, they'll be registered for the financial modeling exams. Depending on which exam diet they want, they're going to, that's the word diet again, which exam diet they want to register them. So they want to do the exam diet for May. Now, if I go to the Financial Modeling Institute's website, you would see that this is the exam, Advanced Financial Modeler. So once we've trained them to be world-class financial modelers, we'll also train them to be comfortable to write the exams. Then they'll get enrolled as all part of the same 150. They'll get enrolled for the Advanced Financial Modeler course, which is $695, right? They're getting our course for $1,200. They're getting this $695, all for $150. Only students that are verified by you. Now, once they do this, they will choose which exam date. So you can see these are the exam dates available. They will choose, obviously, April is gone. Probably they'll be able to do the July 29th exam. They will choose whether they want to do the exam then, or they do the exam October 21st, or they do the exam February 24th. They'll choose when they want to do the exam. They're going to have 1 year access to this program, very rigorous program. They're going to have 1 year full access to all the content and everything around the program and all of that. And then hopefully at the end, they would have finished with you as chartered accountants. They will also finish with us as advanced financial modelers, fully verified as having been able to build models for deals, and hopefully they start earning an income from that modeling. So that's the plan. So where do you come in? And I'll just give you just general gist, and then we can now start talking and answering questions. So the tuition centers that we want to become partners is, once someone registers, if I come in here and someone says, hey, this is for me, let's see. So this is the student route. It's almost exactly the same, but this is the African student route. If I go to the enrollment, you will see that you have pay in dollars, $150, or you pay $120, 120,000 Naira. So if I go to the Naira bit, for example, and click this, you're going to have a form. So this form is the first part of verification. They're going to put their first name, last name, gender, date of birth, and email, phone number, address, country, state, country of origin, registering institution, which is the most important thing here, the registering institution. When they click here, what we've done is added all, of course, ICAN, dbrownconsulting, and then most of the tuition houses that we know. Any tuition house name that's not here, we will add it onto the list. Once they select that, they'll put their student ID from your tuition house, their preferred FMI exam dates, they'll pick which dates they prefer. They'll put the company, if they're working in any company or not applicable. Then they're supposed to give a government issued ID. Now, this ID needs to be exactly the same spelling as their name and surname. So whatever name they have here must be exactly the same as this government issued ID, because that's what's going to be used for the exam to verify that this is the same person. It's an all automated AI driven, right? So government issued ID number, they'll put the number there. They'll kind of agree to these attestations. Once they agree, then they submit. Once they submit, they will now pay, and they will pay the $150 or $120,000. Now, because they've put your institution here, let's assume this, they've put your institution here, the database will take that and it will go into a reconciliation loop, which our recon team will work with you to say, oh, this is your student. And then this is what happens next. So what we think as tuition houses we should do is try and promote this to your students. And we're also going to promote this, verify the active students. So once they fill the form, we're going to ask you, okay, these are the list of people from your institution. Can you verify that they're your students? Once you verify and confirm that your students, we know they're residents in Nigeria and they're your students, great. Then we'll give you an admin fee. Even though we've heavily discounted this, we know that there is some work that you're going to do in administering the verification process. So you'll get an admin fee from that $120,000 that was paid. Doing this is exactly this. Nobody has the money for this infrastructure. It's too expensive, right? So students don't have money, and we need to support them and grow, because once they grow, they will sponsor the next set of people. So it's as simple as that. So then there's an admin fee you would earn from there, and then you complete. So what we would want you to do is complete, if you're interested in this, complete the FMA partner onboarding form. I'll share the form with you, and then start promoting this with your students so that they can register for the next cohort, which is coming up in May 22nd, right? And then about the FMA program itself, we've already mentioned it. As I said, it's $2,841 value at $150. Because we don't want this to be, we don't want this to be abused. We're going through institutions. Nobody will get this amount without going through an institution that validates. And we always need to assess the institution, which is why we went to ICAN to say, how do we assess whether tuition houses are fully above board? They say, well, we've accredited certain tuition houses. So we only have the accredited tuition houses. That's why we have here. We're talking to universities as well, get people accredited, so we know that we're not abusing this. It's super important. So this is an 8-week program, as I said, designed to start a week after completion of the scheduled ICAN diet exam. It's deliberate how we set it up. So it's after the ICAN exam that this starts, and then before the commencement of the next diet trainings for your institution that it ends. So that window, that 2-month window, so is where we're doing this, so that it doesn't affect you as an institution, and it doesn't affect ICAN, right? And of course, they can choose whenever they do their exam, which is a Saturday usually, right? So this was very deliberate, us choosing those dates, right? And then, of course, this is to ensure the program doesn't clash. That's what we mean. Yeah. So you can visit. I'm going to share the website now with the link. Solomon, if you can share that in the chat, so you have the link to that landing page where everything is. And I think I'm ready for your questions, because I think that's basically the presentation. I don't know, what do you think? I wish I had this when I was basically, I shouldn't have spent as much money as I spent. But let me even give you some dates. Let me talk about some dates. So what do we want? What do we want? We think that promotions should start in earnest with your students so they can take full advantage of this. Let me tell you now, I don't think this won't last forever. We have decided with the FMI that we're going to do this for at least a year. Let's see how it goes. Let's see if on their end the cost, because This is not an objective exam. Somebody in FMI is going to get a top modeler to sit down and go through their models. The way they mark the exam is going through the model that each person built, one model at a time. That costs money. And I'm sure it definitely costs more than the massive discount that we're giving. So this is it's a scholarship truly. And we want to see how it goes and see how successful it is and see if we can sustain, especially FMI can sustain that cost. And then, of course, we grow forward. So I just think the benefits will be great for our students. So dbrown Consulting is going to start a financial modeling webinar series next week. So we're going to start a free webinar series every single week, every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Starting next week, we're going to have a webinar series. Again, your students can take advantage of that. You can take advantage of that. I want to grow this revolution around financial modeling to completely simplify it for everybody. The course itself starts on the 22nd of May, 2023 and ends on the 17th of July, 2023. And then, of course, they can then do the exams after that. And they have access to the community participants who have 1 year access to all the content of the course and 1 year access to the financial modeling community from the Financial Modeling Institute. And the AFM exams, these are the next steps, 29th of April, 29th of July. So those finishing on 17th could sit the 29th of July if they want. October 21st is the next one. And then next year on the 24th of February is the last one. So that is all I have for you, everybody. I hope this sounds exciting. I will kind of hand over to Solomon Umukoro, who will just introduce himself. He is the coordinator in dbrown Consulting that's in charge of really making this run. I'd like him to say a few words and then over to you to ask questions. Solomon?
Thank you very much, David. It's been an insightful session, and actually very glad about this opportunity, at least an opportunity for us to upskill our professional members, especially the students. Thank you very much, David. I think we would now leave it to our colleagues who may have one or two questions that they would require clarity on. So we could just raise up our hands so we attend to the questions that you may have.
So you can just unmute and then ask the question directly. You can raise your hand as well. We just have a freestyle kind of stuff. And if you are too shy to talk, you can also type. So Oderi said the exam is scheduled during the summer holidays, meaning people may be writing outside Africa, even though they are residents in Africa. Very nice question. Is this allowed? So they are residents in Africa. That means we would need to kind of prove residency, right? So the idea is that they're your students. It doesn't mean they're your former students. If they're your former students, well, they can't be qualified for the student's fee. They have to be your current students. They have to be students, right? So if they are residents in Africa, that's great. But if they've gone on holiday and coming back, at the end of the day, if they're writing the exam, they must be in Africa because there's some AI that's also going to check where exactly they're writing the exam from. So definitely they should be in Africa writing the exam because that'll be another check. We just don't want anyone taking advantage of this, but this is a great question. Can I ask you a question, Oderi Day? Oderi Day, if you can answer. These are your students, right? Which means they're coming back to continue their course with you, right? For you to verify them means you know they're coming back, right? You can unmute.
Yes, David, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is it's possible that even the lectures, the tutorials might have been taken while they are here in Nigeria, but the exam is scheduled around the time they will be outside Africa. So just for them to take the exams in whatever location they find themselves during the exam period. That is what I'm saying. But they are Africans, they're residents in Africa, but it's just that the exams might have been scheduled at a period that they will be outside Africa. That's what I'm asking whether it's allowed. Thank you.
Now, don't go off yet. Are they your students? Which institution are you referring to? Oh, this is ICAN actually, right?
No, this is Shemon Day of Legacy Professional Tutors.
Okay. Hi, Sean. Hi. Right, Sean. Okay, yeah, now I remember. Hi, Sean. So if they are your students, they're still coming back to continue with you, isn't it?
Yes, please. That's the idea.
So I would advise they don't take the exam abroad. It's when they come back to Nigeria that they should take the exam. That's
Okay.
what I would
David,
advise.
we can take that one offline with you if you want as
Mm,
well. I mean,
mhm.
but we will if it's an issue, we can maybe chat about that after. It's
Mhm.
we can is as you said, the most important thing is to know that they are residents of Africa. I have to tell you, I think most people will want to write the exam from home or from because everyone's going to be comfortable set up with their own setup. Um, but we can talk about that, David. If we know someone is a resident and they're just traveling, it's not a big problem for us. But we just want to make sure it works. It's not a problem for you. But we can chat with
Okay.
you about that, the logistics.
All right, super. I'll take people's raised hands first, then I'll go to the chat. So can we have Emmanuel? Emmanuel
Yeah,
Modozi. Sorry.
good
Afternoon.
Thank you for the privilege and opportunity to share this great arrangement with us. My question is a very simple one. We know the economic situation in Nigeria. I want to ask if instrumental payment is allowed for the fee for 120,000 naira fee. Some students might not afford that amount at a stretch. That is one of my questions, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thanks for that question. Currently, we don't have anything planned for that. But what I think could happen is that they could pay installmentally and then they get registered after full payments. But that's a possibility. We will look at that. We don't have that currently. Solomon, I don't think is there any plans for that?
Not current.
Yeah, but something that we'll take yeah. Yeah, we'll take
flesh
that
out
on board.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll take that on
Yeah.
board. Thanks for that question. Alternative school. The alternative school. Is this alt school? Alt school in the US, is this like the Nigerian branch of it? Alternative school. Because I know alt schools, wonderful stuff. Because you raised your hand, who is there? Alternative school. Alternative school can't not. I can't hear you. Yeah, probably still muted. Sorry, we can't hear you. You have to check your mic issues. So Mercy, you can go ahead.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Mercy.
Thank you so much for putting this together. There's an area that we didn't talk about. I think I've asked this on the chat server, but no one has responded. Now,
Okay.
for institutions like ICAN, CFE, members have annual fees that they have to pay, subscription. And I've asked, do we have anything like this? Because it wasn't mentioned, so people are aware if there is, and then we know exactly what it is and how much it is.
Subscription. When you say subscription, you mean to the Financial Modeling Institute?
Yes.
Okay, I'll give Ian that.
Yeah, I think I caught that. Right now, when people become a candidate in the FMI, they have 1 year access to our. At the FMI, we have a community, we have an online community platform with some thousands of people all over the world in the community and learning about modeling, and the learning materials are in the community. That's where they access the self-study materials, and that's where they register for their exam. When people sign up, they get 1 year access. Right now we don't have. Right now we do not have a subscription model beyond that. We might incorporate something, and if we did something, it would be very it would be very small and minimal, but it's not something that we are looking at just right now. Right now, people get into it
Thank you.
and then have the full year to get through the program, which is more than enough time.
Okay, great. I hope that answered the question. Mercy.
Yes, it did. Thank you.
Thank you. Adewumi?
Yeah, good afternoon. Thank you, David. My question is this. The levels, the exam, can it be undertaken by students of any level in ICAN? You know, ICAN is we have foundation, we have skills and finance. Then we also have ATS students. Can we introduce it to all the students? Then, like, secondly, like in my own case, I also have a secondary school. I've been thinking about maybe when we have those SS3 students that just graduated, maybe pending the time, their admission to further their education, maybe can we introduce it to them?
So for me, for ATS, I know ATS and all those other levels, all of them can do this. We need basic accounting knowledge. They would have got that basic accounting knowledge. We will teach them the Excel knowledge that they need if they don't have it. And then we'll teach them the modeling skill. That's what we would do as dbrown, teach them rigorously, a skill enough for them to start a business. And then they would have that skill. And then we'll now go through grooming them for the exam. Then we hand them over to FMI. FMI will further groom them for the exam, because FMI actually grooms you, kind of gives you a few tidbits in the community, you're learning, and then you're getting ready for the exam. We also have mock exams that we're going to do. We have our mock exam. There's also FMI has mock exam. So they'll get really groomed to pass. So for me, I think anyone can go through that process. Right now, for secondary school, which is people in ages 16, 17, and so that some of them would have gone through accounting in the social sciences, right, on secondary school. They may have the skill set, but I don't know if there's any age limits regarding FMI. So I'll let FMI answer that.
There's no age limit, but we do find that that if people are younger, it'll be more challenging for them to get through and to pass. We will find, financial modeling requires having a lot. Financial modeling is a very multidisciplinary skill set. You need to have a good grasp of accounting, of finance, of Excel, of business operations. So when people are in, at those younger years, it's just a lot more. They can do it. We've seen people do it, but it's a much steeper learning curve. David, we can talk. We have more of an introduction program that we were not talking about. That might be more appropriate for people that are younger. The AFM is doable, but someone would have to work pretty hard to get through it. Yeah, if you just scroll it down, if you go to the main, just our homepage, actually, the FMI homepage, David. Yeah, it's this one, the foundations one. And David, if there's interest, we could talk about that. This is intended for students, this program. It's knowledge. It's knowledge in financial modeling instead of knowing how to build. People who get this are not expert modelers yet. They're learning modeling. It says begin your journey. They are learning modeling ideas, but they're not expert modelers yet. So that might be more interesting to students. But our partnership is focused on, given that most people will have an accounting background, or our partnership is focused around the AFM, which does prove that people have excellent modeling skills. Yeah. We're just seeing it.
Yeah, and then obviously, if they do want to go through the course, I mean, they get quite a lot of things as well. They get plenty courses, the materials for the course, so they learn to become modelers. It's just that they wouldn't need to do the exam, or they could do the exam, but really won't advise. Technically, won't really advise. If it's a skill, fine, they can get the skill.
Yeah, I think, David, I think that's an excellent comment. I mean, you're pricing it for people that age. It's very, very attractive. They could come and just learn all the materials from David. They could learn all the learnings from David and see the learning materials in FMI. And then, I mean, the price is very inexpensive. They're going to learn a lot. They may choose to do the exam if they're ready. They might not, but they're getting tremendous value even if they just go through the learning materials. Even if they don't want to do the exam. It's phenomenal. It's incredible value just to learn everything.
Yeah, right. So let me go to the chats before coming back to the hands. So I saw, I don't know if someone can moderate. Solomon, do you have the chat? And also, I think we're answering in the chat, right? Solomon, you're answering. We're trying to answer in the chat. Is there any unanswered question in the chat I can take, or just go back to the hands?
Yeah. So we have a question from Legacy Tutors.
Okay.
If you already have a CFI certification, do you still need to do a training with FMI?
Great question. So let me talk about CFI. So CFI is the Corporate Finance Institute, and they do a training as well, and they do a certification. Now, let me give you the differences between the two. So the CFI exam is an objective-based exam, and what they're doing is testing you to see, okay, you've gone through this program, let's test you. So it's the same body that is giving you a course and the same body testing you. Now, the CFI is a rigorous program. It's a pretty rigorous program. They don't just do modeling, they do a lot more than modeling. They had plenty other things as well. We've had people that have done the CFI and also done the FMI and have gone through our program. The feedback we get, and I have some video feedback that I can share, is that our financial modeling course is far more rigorous. And that's because we focus on financial modeling. We don't do all the other extra stuff, which is good. Rounded, you can become rounded, but we want to focus on financial modeling. The second thing is that the exams themselves is not testing your recall. It's testing, can you build a real model? So the exam is just as Ian showed you, you're going to have a spreadsheet with just the financials and you build a model for 4 hours. It's not objectives. You finish building the model, you send it, you have no idea whether or not you've passed because that's your model. An expert is going to go through your model to see if it meets certain criteria for you to get the AFM designation. So we think it's far more rigorous to be able to say, oh, I'm a financial modeler. I passed the FMI exam. Than to say I'm a financial modeler, I pass CFI. Yes. So I don't know if Ian wants to add to that.
Do you mind if I just add to that comment? Because we hear that sometimes. What I would listen, I would there used to be a little bit of confusion in the market. I think the way CFI positioned themselves was a little bit of confusion, but it's clearer now. If you look at CFI is a great organization. CFI is basically like the way I describe CFI is like LinkedIn Learning. CFI is a huge learning platform. CFI has lots of courses and lots of topics. As David mentioned, they have hundreds, thousands of self-study courses. Their testing is gentle. Their testing is multiple choice. It's not proctored. It's not proctored. The CFI is not proctored. It's not rigorous testing. CFI is all about access to a learning management system and to learn their materials. And they have some very nice learning materials. Like I said, it's like LinkedIn Learning. FMI is, we're trying to build an organization, FMI, more like CFA Institute or ICAN. We are the accreditation organization, very challenging, rigorous test. And when you get, as David mentioned, it's a proctored exam. So you know when you pass it that it was you. If someone else passes it, you know they built a model from scratch. And then, yes, do you want to go to the AFM page? If you go under programs, David, they'll see it bigger. If you go programs, what you get, if you go programs and then the AFM one at the top there, what you get is this very nice badge. Yeah, if you just roll down right there, you get this very, very nice badge for your LinkedIn, and it says that you have exceptional financial modeling skills. I will tell you, I have met, and I don't know who asked the question, and maybe you have really good modeling skills now, but when I meet people that have FMVA, that doesn't tell me if they have strong modeling skills. Some do, but some don't. I have met people that have CFI's FMVA. They've learned a lot, but some of them do not have very good modeling skills because they didn't have to prepare and really prove it on an exam. So I hope that explains the difference of what we're doing. So no, there's no exceptions. There's no allowance for people who have FMVA. We know that there's some good articles contrasting the test, and there's some big differences. Anyway, I hope that makes sense. Let us know if you have more questions on that.
Great. So Adewumi, you have a question? Adewumi Olusheye.
Yeah, my question goes thus. I wanted to know if a certificate will be issued at the completion of the program.
Yes, you have 2 certificates that are going to be issued. The first certificate is going to come from from the D. Brown Consulting Academy, so the Financial Modeling Academy. So you're going to get the digital certificate from us, D. Brown, just to say you've completed the program. But you will get another certificate if you pass the exams. Of course, you're going to pass the exams at the Financial Modeling Institute, and maybe Ian can talk about the other certificate.
Yeah, do you want to roll down, David? Do you want to just roll down again on your screen, just a little bit, teeny bit further? I mean, the main right there. Stop. You just passed it. The main thing that people get that they like is this. I mean, if there's a desire, we don't issue certificates. We offer the badge for to have. I mean, in your program, David, if it was in demand for Africa to have a certificate, it's something we could look at. But right now, what people want is that green badge is very powerful right now, and it's what people want.
Which they can attach to all their social media to prove that they have this. And do you know if there's any blockchain or? Sorry.
It comes from, we use an organization called Accredible, which is the most,
so it has
usually it's one of the most respected badging organizations. So it's legit. You have to, we have to certify who gets the badge. And by the way, David, you could also mention when somebody receives the badge, if you want to look at my LinkedIn page, it has their name on it. So when they get a badge, it shows it's their name on it, and they can't change their name.
Great. So someone can mute. Sorry, let me mute everybody first. Sorry. Okay, so yes, Ian, you're right, because we use Accredible too for some other programs, and it has blockchain. So there's blockchain technology that protects it, and it's tied to you. And yeah, so so that's what you get. I hope we answered that question. Any more questions? Put your hands up, please. We have Uche Chukwu. Please go ahead. Uche Chukwu. Nwosu. So Uche Chukwu Nwosu.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, I said sorry, I had network issue. I had to log in. I don't know if the question had been asked. The tutors for the tuition centers, are they entitled to the 150 or purely their students? Or was it the $375 you mentioned?
Very nice question. So the tutors are not students, unfortunately. So the tutors will need to pay the $347, unless, of course, they become students very quickly in an institution that's accredited. Then they can have access to the 150. Don't know if that helps.
Like what kind of institutions?
I don't know. You're in a university, you're doing something, or you're probably, maybe you're not chartered, you're ICAN, and you can become a student again. But I'm sure the tutors are already chartered accountants. So for example, if you have a partnership with CFA. Yes, exactly. So if you have a partnership with CFA and you're doing the CFA exam as a student in CFA, and CFA can verify that, because CFA also partners eventually, they would also be on the list. We're only starting with ICAN, so it's only ICAN accredited institutions currently. So yes, CFA, a student in CFA, and it's verified that you are. That's possible. But really the aim of this really is to give people that are not able to afford this that are students that we know cannot afford the program, that those are the ones that get access to the 150 coming through you. So yeah, that's how it works. I don't know, any additional answers, Ian?
No, is there anything you want me to touch on specifically? Is there anything you want me to specifically address, David, on this?
No, Uche, I know it would be nice to get access to the 150, but that's the whole idea. We're trying to be very restrictive on that, so only students. And when we say students, we just mean those your students that are trying to get the ICAN, and they're basically on their own most times trying to struggle to get that certification. We're not giving them access to this certification for really a very reduced sponsored price. Don't know if that helps.
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay. And David, we have a question here. Can students or professionals pay in Naira? Can they pay in Naira?
Yes. So yes. Now, one key thing for us is as much as possible, we know where we are in Naira, right? What's our exchange rate? Can someone type it in the chat? The real exchange rate. Just type in the chat. Just remind me what the Naira dollar exchange rate is, because I don't even check anymore. I'm tired. Someone type in the chat. What's the rate? Exchange rate? waiting for someone to type. Just type in the chat. Tell me what it is currently. Maybe the last transaction you did. Dollar Naira, US dollar Naira. So 750, I see Oderinde says 750. Bank rate. No, the rate you can get, not the rate CBN tries to publish that nobody gets. 750, right? That's the best. Somebody get a better price than that. is black market. Well, it's black market everybody uses. We know that. So so CBN rate is 462, but the real rate that you get in day-to-day is 750. You can see the spread there. Some people are doing some serious arbitrage. So those that have access, which is supplies of some special stuff. So you have 752 and 460, you have 740. Okay, so now there is foreign exchange risk here, all right, for us as D Brown. I'm just being very open to you. There's foreign exchange risk. So what we've done is we've decided, okay, you know what? Let's have a Naira price. Yes, let's have a Naira price. If I go to enroll, so let's have a Naira price of 120,000, and then we will review this every cohort. So we're going to do this twice a year this year. Next year, we want to do even more. So we're going to do it twice a year this year. So the next cohort starts on 22nd of May. It's going to be at 120, but who knows our currency? If our currency goes crazy, we would have to review the Naira price. The dollar price will remain the way it is, but the Naira price may change. So currently, yes, people can pay in Naira right now. They enroll. What we will do to kind of reduce our foreign exchange risk is we try and buy the dollar so that we can at least cover the costs of everybody involved in the program. So yes, you can pay in Naira. There's a Naira fee there. Yeah, but just wanting to know the complexities of foreign exchange risk. Anybody else? So I would like to hand over to Fumi now, and thanks Fumi for this privilege of being able to talk to our colleagues in all the tuition houses, transforming students in Nigeria, all the thousands of students going through tutors here to become chartered accountants. And we hope we can partner together with them to also go through institution to become advanced financial modelers. I think it's going to be very valuable. I don't know if our registrar was able to make it in, so can just have our official greetings. Over to you, Fumi.
That David, that I saw the registrar online a few minutes ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
David.
Hello, sir.
Yes, I've logged.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, I can hear you.
Good.
Okay, sorry.
Evening.
Yeah, it's evening where I am. It's almost dark here. But yes. Yeah, I joined in over an hour ago, about an hour ago, when Ian was making his presentation. Yes. Good evening, everyone. My name is Professor Ahmed Kumshi. I'm the Registrar Chief Executive of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria. It's actually a pleasure for me to be able to provide this platform for our tutors from the tuition houses to have this interaction with D Brown and the FMI team. When this thing came up, it came to us as a very good initiative where our students and also our members will benefit tremendously from this offer. You can see that without repeating what has been said earlier, the program is substantially discounted, both for members and for students. So I will encourage all of our tuition houses to encourage their students, and even the tutors themselves. They can join through the platform of the Institute to be able to benefit from these opportunities. And I believe that having had all these interactions, there will still be more opportunities for discussion. And I believe, I don't know whether it has been mentioned, the window is currently for just 1 year now, between now and the exam to be taken in February 2024. That's the current window we have for now. So I believe I want to encourage all of our people to be able to utilize this opportunity. So thank you once again. And thank you, FMI, and thank you, David, for this offer to our people. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. And thank you for still coming after such a busy schedule. Thanks a lot. So I think there was a question. Go
David,
ahead.
there are some questions in the chat box. I think
Okay.
if we just take a few minutes to answer those,
Okay.
before we log off.
All right, cool. So I think it's
But I think we
Michael.
need to draw a line. The questions will keep on coming. Maybe we say if we identify the question that we have now, any one that comes after, we may not take so because it
Yes.
keeps on coming. So maybe we have to draw a line.
So let me first give you my colleague's details. I know he won't mind you pestering him. So, I'm sorry. Let me, his name is Solomon. Solomon, if you want to type your details there, your email address, so people can reach out to you. So, Solomon will drop his email address. So you can always reach out to him. He's also going to drop the form, the onboarding form, so that we can reach out to you as well. So the ICAN Tuition House onboarding form. Then let me just get my slides back to work.
The form, you can share it with Fumi so that you can also send it to all of the tuition houses too. All
right, so we'll do that. Thanks for that. I know this is being recorded, so we'll find a way of having the recording available online on the financial model once somewhere that we can also share. So those that weren't able to make it can also watch this recording.
I'll share with everyone.
Excellent.
I'll definitely share with everyone.
All right, super. Then we have Michael is asking, I want to find out if the scholarship covers for the two other levels, which are level 2 and level 3 of the FMI. No, the scholarship doesn't cover level 2 and level 3. Now, level 2 is an exam as well. So level 2 for the Financial Modeling Institute is an exam. Let me just show you that various levels, right? So you have the foundation level, foundation of financial modeling, which I just showed here. There is the AFM, which is the Advanced Financial Modeler. There is the CFM, which is Chartered Financial Modeler. That goes a little more advanced than the Advanced Financial Modeler. And then there is the MFM, which is really not an exam. I mean, you need to apply to basically get that accreditation. So AFM is really the key. AFM, most modeling things you need will be covered by AFM. Most people's modeling will be covered by AFM. For accountants that are probably professional accountants that want to run a modeling practice, I think you definitely need CFM. But Ian, you want to add to that?
Yeah, can you hear me, David?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, that you have it exactly right. AFM is the level that is most required for most people doing modeling. That is going to get you. You're going to have excellent modeling skills and be a fundamentally strong modeler. That's why that's our main program, and that's the one that's appropriate for most people. Most people don't need to go beyond that, but we do have higher levels. The second one, as David said, CFM gets into very complex issues around capital structure modeling much more complex issues with regards to debt and equity, around working capital and FIFO and LIFO inventories, and more advanced, more complex, more detailed modeling for people who really do modeling kind of all day, every day. So if it's interesting, it's something we can look at down the road. And as David mentioned, the MFM is a recognition for lifetime contribution to the field. It's for people who have gone above and beyond to contribute to the field, the discipline of financial modeling, and they have excellent modeling skills. So, I think that for most people, AFM is probably all they are going to need.
Yes. And just so you know, our course itself, the course program is way beyond the AFM requirement. But it's not fully into the CFM requirement. So we've taken some things in the CFM, put it into the course. So you have both AFM, all the AFM requirements, some CFM requirements, and then some requirements for actually running that skill set of being a financial modeler and earning from there. So you have kind of a lot of material there. Then I think with this course, you can actually develop your skill sets to do this CFM if you want to on your own. Yeah. Right. So
we have a few Nigerians have gone through this, have passed the CFM, but we're building it up further. It's very, very challenging, but yeah, I would love to see more over time.
Yes, and maybe we would have another program that also has that in future, but at least we're starting off with the core, which is correct. Great. Yeah. So I think this will be the last question I'm going to take. We have, I think, a question from Ade Dapo. What are the benefits of as a student apart from the certification? or should I say accreditation? Good. So what are the benefits? So let me just go to the program page, web page itself, right? So on the first page of the program, we cannot list out the benefits. Who is this for? Who is this for? For us, okay, this is a scholarship only applies to African students. Yes, we have, let me even go to the main program. I think there's a main program that you see more of the real benefits. So let's go there. Sorry. 1 second. All right. So in the main program, what do we say? You're an expert in your field and you have burning desire to supercharge your career. So this is a career booster. Imagine you're an accountant, you want to change careers to finance. This is like a rocket ship for you to actually change your career. Just like Ian showed at the beginning, you open up yourself to a lot more business or a lot more employment opportunities. That's one. You're a professional in finance and accounting, but cannot confidently build robust budgeting, forecasting models. It takes you a week to do forecasting, budgeting scenarios and stuff. You save a lot of time. You'll be able to completely eliminate a lot of time wasting by building really robust models. You're a student in accounting and finance, economics, and you would like to gain technical skills that enable you build models to analyze trends and then improve your CV. So yes, improve your CV, increase your chances of getting a job. If you're a gig worker or you want to become a gig worker, that increases the amount of gigs you can do. So you can do modeling projects. Someone's doing a business plan. I can tell you the biggest piece of a business plan that never gets done well is the financials. So there are lots of people that do business plans and you make money from there as a gig worker. Or you're a manager and you're managing stuff and you want to be able to audit a model. So if you know how to build a model, you can audit a model. So there's so many benefits and it's all on the landing pages that we're going to share with you. The links, and we'll share with you by email. So I think I never thought it would take 2 hours, and everybody still seems to be here. So thank you very much to everybody for coming over and staying and listening to us. We are very passionate about it. I'm sure Ian and I can talk about modeling for the next 10 hours straight.
Days. What do you mean?
So I'd like just for a few words from Johanna, if you can just say 1 or 2 things before I go, and anybody else in my team, if Wumi is here, just say 1 or 2 words before I leave, and Amy as well, if Amy is here.
Yeah. Can you hear her?
No, I can't hear her. She's going in and out. So
yeah.
So it's Canada internet. It's too cold there, so obviously
Canadian internet.
It's not working.
It's I don't know why we can't. We really can't. Hard to hear, Joanna. I don't know why.
Sorry, Joanna.
Well, that's okay.
Okay. All right, everybody. So next week we'll have a webinar. And next week I'll send you the links to that. And we're going to be doing weekly webinars. We're going to invite Ian. Ian has agreed to kind of join us on 1 or 2 of those webinars. So it's going to be exciting stuff. And I would love your students and yourselves to join. I'm really excited that we're going to have lots of modelers. And you know us, Niger. When we learn something, we just take over the world. So looking forward to you guys taking over the world in financial modeling. So thanks a lot, everybody. And thanks a lot for me. And thanks a lot to ICAN for making this happen. All of you too.